Hello Zaniacs, welcome back to Zaniactv. I'm your host Zane, and today we're doing week 23 Affixs, which is Fortified, Sanguine, Grievous, and Prideful. If anyone has any questions, I do stream live on Twitch 4 days a week. I also offer Mythic Plus analytics and coaching through Patreon. For those of you tanking last week who thought that you were able to pull a certain amount of mobs, but this week you're unable to do that and you're not sure why, well, that's because you can't. This week is Fortified. You will not be able to pull as large because the trash packs hit harder and bosses are way easier. Nope. That does not mean you don't have to do mechanics, because you still do. Just because the bosses die faster and don't hit you as hard does not mean you're able to avoid having to do mechanics. There's just a lot less time spent on the bosses, so you think you don't have to do as much mechanics, but still be careful. The level 4 affix this week is Sanguine. Sanguine means every time you kill a trash mob, they drop a pool of blood. If they stand in the pool of blood, they heal. If you stand in the pool of blood, you take damage. This affix is a bit of a headache for tanks because you have to pull them out and do a consistent amount of kiting. If stuff dies too fast and they stand in it, well, they're going to get healed, which means more damage that the DPS have to do for them to die. And since it's fortified, it means that's even more health that they take back. And the worst part is if they're casters, then they're standing in the pool of blood and you have to get them to come out somehow. This is where you get to be creative. What do you have as a knockback? What do you have as a pushback? What do you have as a pull? What do you have as an interrupt? How can you get the mob out of the pool of blood? Some of the things I do as a monk is I use Clash to pull them out, or I use Ring of Peace to push them out. Another trick I did in this run was I actually used line of sight to my advantage, where I killed some of them on one side of the wall, then I went to the other side of the wall and killed the rest of them. The absolute worst possible thing you can do in Sanguine is stun or root them in the blood, because that way they'll heal up and there's nothing you can do about it. Now, Sanguine is also very annoying in tight hallways, which is why I picked Theater of Pain, because you'll see that on platforms and on tight hallways, Sanguine can get a little bit of a mess. So the best thing you can do as a tank is try to get them to die somewhat in the same area without them stacking on top of each other. Unless you kill them all at the same time, then sure, stack them all together. Now, if you run a level 7 or higher, you're going to have to deal with the affix of Grievous. What Grievous is it puts a dot on you if your health falls below a certain percentage, and the dot stacks up to 4 times. So Blizzard decided, you know what, let's give healers a problem twice in a row. The good news is about Grievous is if you do a single target heal on yourself, or if you're a healer doing it onto a target, it removes 1 stack of Grievous. So you shouldn't be having more than 1 or 2. As a monk tank, I'm able to use Expel Harm to get rid of 1 of the stacks. So I'm always using that on cooldown, even if I don't actually need it. Now, if you play a Paladin, Shaman, Priest, Monk, or Druid in any specialization, you can help with Grievous by off-healing Grievous off of players. Your single target quick heal will help remove stacks of Grievous, so that way your healer can help catch up. An issue with Grievous this week is that it is paired up with Sanguine, so if players are standing in the pools of blood, it will increase your chances of getting Grievous and increase your stacks. So you're going to want to do your best, even more so, to position Sanguine in such a way that players can't be standing in them, because we don't want to double the affix by having Grievous stacks up. Now, how does all this affect Prideful? Well, most weeks they generally don't affect Prideful, but this week is actually very dangerous for Prideful. When you kill an enemy, the Sanguine, of course, is going to go down on the ground, so you're not going to want to stand in that. But Grievous will still be in effect with Prideful. when Prideful does their AoE damage, they're going to give out stacks of Grievous. So now, Prideful is very healing intensive. If you have extra enemies while you pull Prideful and it drops a pool of blood, you're going to have to reposition it so that way you're not standing in that pool of blood. Plus, with all of the massive amounts of AoE damage, plus the unnecessary Grievous stacks just stacking, your healer is going to have a really difficult time. So make sure you don't make it difficult for them. Healers, it is very important that you pop a healing cooldown here. You will need it. Don't assume you don't. It's better to use it and not need it than to not have used it and it wipes the group. Pop a cooldown on Prideful. But the biggest worry I have about Prideful this week is the fact that it adds stacks of Grievous. So if your group is already somewhat damaged before Prideful comes out, it's just going to be even more healing intensive than it needs to be. All right, now it's time for the routing. Let's start off with the other side. So this here is going to be a very big pull. You're going to want to definitely watch out for the Sanguine here. You're going to do a lot of kiting, make sure they don't stand in it. I usually kite back and forth this way around, and then once the blood comes, just work my way backwards. Then come across this way. This pack is going to hurt. Definitely want to pop some cooldowns here, both damaging, healing, and tanking. Don't want to keep this guy as a caster. You don't want him to stand in the Sanguine. Definitely pull them around. Cut across this way. Healers should pop a cooldown for this guy here, the Enraged Spirit. Go over here, grab this pack. You'll get Prideful. Healers pop another cooldown. Damage to pop a defensive cooldown. Prideful is going to cause Grievous and it's going to hurt. All right, then pull these two. Then come back this way. Go through here. Careful of the channeling, casting, and the and any runners. Here, you're going to want to make sure you get all of these out of the blood. Tight hallway. Prideful here. Same thing. Pop a healer cooldown here for Prideful. Then go to the boss. Come back this way. And then you go to Ardenweald. Not Ardenweald. Why did I say Ardenweald? Then you go to Mechagon. Go ahead and grab this. Watch out for the Sanguines here. Come around here. Save a healer cooldown and defensives for here for Prideful for the boss. Come back this way. This guy you're not going to have an urn. Definitely going to want to save a healer cooldown for this. It's going to be a lot of damage. You're going to need a lot of healing. Pop defensives. Help out your healer. Same thing here. There's going to be a lot of blood. You're going to want to pull them out of the blood after the urn is exploded. Do lots of kiting here. Pull them around. And, of course, defensives because Grievous is going to be bad here. In Ardenweald, I'm still going to pull this pack. Don't pull this here. Pull this together. Just kite up and down. Same thing here. Pull this together. Kite up and down. This pat's going to come around. Grab the pat. Get the Prideful. Use a healer cooldown. Grab these three together. This is going to pull with the urn. So you pull these three together. Pop the urn. Start here. Come back this way. Grab these. Definitely going to kite up and down for the blood. Come here and grab these. Prideful. Healer pop a cooldown. Boss. And then, of course, you have Mizada. Alright, go to Halls of Atonement. Halls of Atonement, I have two routes for Venthyr and no Venthyr. If you start off with pulling these two, sometimes here. Sometimes I go and grab this. But it's fortified, so I don't think I'm going to do that. So I'm going to grab these two here. Use Bloodlust. Watch for the blood, so you don't want them channeling in the blood. Come over here, grab these. They all cause blood. You don't want them channeling in the blood. Of course, if you have no Venthyr, this is going to pull, kill it. Grab this. Grab these two. You're going to get Prideful. Pop a healer cooldown. Grab these two here, then come across this way. Grab this pack. Then you're going to grab these two together. You're going to get another Prideful. Pop a healer cooldown. Come down here. Grab these. If you do not have a Venthyr, you don't come this way. You just continue this way. If you do have a Venthyr, you're going to want to grab this pack and then come across this way. Grab these here, you're going to get another Prideful, pop a healer cooldown, grab these, come across this way while this is channeling, grab these two, do the boss. Do not bloodlust this boss. And go ahead and grab these here, come up, pull this, here, save your bloodlust for this boss, but Prideful's going to come, use a healer cooldown. This pack is going to be tough. It's good to bring it outside to here, so you have extra room for the blood. And this is the same thing. Bring it outside here. You have extra room for the blood here. They're casters, they're channelers. Make sure they are not standing in the blood. You're going to do this boss. Here, watch out for the blood from this guy. You're going to get a Prideful, pop a healer cooldown, and then you're going to do the boss. In Mists, it's going to be the same thing. You're going to get a Night Fate and go this way. Grab these two together. Watch out for Grievous here because they put a debuff that does extra damage. So with Grievous, you're going to want to make sure for sure you heal good here. You can pop a healer cooldown. There'll be another one. It'll be up in time to come back. Pull these. Then you have a skip here. You need the Warlock Portal, Shroud, Mind Soothe, Paralysis, Ring of Peace, Imprison, or Sap. Go ahead and cross this. Grab these here. Grab this here. And if you will get Prideful, pop a healer cooldown. Then go ahead and grab this here. Now the maze, of course, is going to be variated. Just be very mindful of the bloods. You're going to have to pull them out of the bloods. I don't know when you'll get Prideful. You'll get 1 or 2. And you're going to want to use a healer cooldown for that. This boss is the same old, just a little extra damage for the 4 here, just so for Grievous, be careful. Now, if you get 57%, you're going to get a Grievous here. If you get 60 or 63 or 65 is the highest I've ever gotten, you're not going to get a Prideful here. So if you do get Prideful here, use healer cooldown. You're going to come here and pull this pack. It's going to be a large pack, but you'll have Prideful. You're going to pull this pack here as well. It's going to be, if you have 57, you have 57%, you're going to pull this pack. If you have 63% or 65%, you're going to want to stealth past both of these packs. If you have 57, you're only going to stealth past this pack. Here, Prideful for the boss, and then work your way backwards. Plaguefall. All right, so we're going to start off over here. You have plenty of room to kite backwards here for the blood. Come around this way. Pull these. Some people pull this with this. I'm just going to leave it separate. Grab this. Again, Grievous is going to be really big problem here for healers. You're going to get Prideful after this. So watch out for these here. They're going to pat outward. You only want one. Whichever one is out the furthest, you're going to want to grab that one. They're going to come around this way. You'll have Prideful for this. If there's neither one out, just continue. And then grab it while it's sticking out. You're going to want to do a huge kite back. You can pull them all. Just remember every time one dies, a blood will spawn. So you just have to keep kiting backwards and backwards and backwards and backwards and backwards and backwards and backwards. Grab this guy. Continue on this way. Pull these together. The bomb is going to hurt this. And then here, you want to pull these together because when these guys get half health, it'll hurt this. Come back this way. Get the Plague Belcher. Prideful. Pop a healer cooldown. Boss. Grievous is going to add a little bit of extra damage for that. Mount up. Come across this way. Grab these two. These two packs. You want to pull this tentacle and then this tentacle. If somebody accidentally pulls this tentacle, there's a fix, but it's best not to do the fix. Grab this guy here. If the tentacle pulls, you're going to want to follow the blue lines. 1, 2, 3. If you don't pull the extra tentacle, you only got the 2, you're going to go the orange lines. 1, 2, 3, boss. Come around this way, go around this border. Just make sure you get out of blood. If this slime dies, there's going to be a puddle of green and blood here for the tentacle, so you're going to want to kill the tentacle first. Come around this way, kill this tentacle unless you accidentally pulled this one. If you accidentally pulled this one, you don't need this tentacle. Grab these two together. Do either side of these. You will get a Prideful. Make sure you pop a healer cooldown. Boss. Come down here. You can clear all of this out at the same time if you have like a boomkin or a really good AoE. Just remember these do drop blood, so you're going to want to kite them out of the blood. Grab the tentacles, the slimes, and then you'll have Prideful for the boss. Make sure you pop a healer cooldown for Prideful and don't get hit with tentacles. Alright, Sanguine Depths. This is going to be a very tough dungeon because of Sanguine. Pull this together, but be careful. You want to kill them close at the same time for the Venthyr Anima Cage. If you don't have a Venthyr, don't worry about it. Just make sure you kite. You want to keep everything towards the edge so you have somewhere to walk. Same thing here. Keep everything at the edge so you have somewhere to walk. Grab these, come across this way. You're going to get Prideful here for the boss. Make sure you pop a healer cooldown. Go ahead and grab these together. These do spawn blood. Only one of these spawns blood. Grab this, grab these. Use a stealth pot or shroud to get to here. You're going to get Prideful here. So make sure you pop a healer cooldown. Then go around this way. You're going to get 60 for the boss. Grab a healer cooldown here for the Prideful. Get the boss. Then come around this way until you get to 75%. Once you get to 75%, drop down. You're going to pull these here. You're going to get a Prideful. Pop a healer cooldown. Do the boss. Then pull these guys out into this room. Make sure you kite them out of the blood. There's going to be a lot of blood for that. And then this is going to be a hard pack too. You're going to want to mana up for the gauntlet. Go through the whole gauntlet, pull them out of blood, make sure you heal up the Sanguine. This is going to be really rough, especially since it's fortified. So then once you get here, you're going to drop combat, going to mana up, use a stealth pot or a shroud to come across here. You're going to get Prideful here. Make sure you pop a healer cooldown for the boss. All right, Spires of Ascension. Normally I would say pull all of these together, even on Fortified. But because of Sanguine, I'm going to pull them separately because the last thing you want is this Goliath to channel into blood and heal to full. Same thing here. You're going to want to pull these, kite backwards. Over here, same idea. You're going to want to do some crazy kiting. You're going to pull all of this. As soon as he starts channeling, you're going to want to pull these 4 away from him, especially if one's about to die. This is going to be a dangerous pull. It could take a very long time. If this heals to full, you'll have this at full health with a Prideful. And you're definitely going to want to pop a healer cooldown for that. Come across this way, grab these. Then come backtrack this way, grab this. You'll get a Prideful. Be sure to have a healer cooldown for that. Come across this way. Come around here. Grab the spear. Pull this pack. You will have Prideful. Pop a healer cooldown. If you have really good AoE damage, you can pull these two together and use the spear. If not, pull them separately. Grab this. Now this pull is going to be really tough. Definitely pop a lot of cooldowns here. You're going to get Prideful. So your healer's probably going to have no mana after this. If you did not use the spear before, use it here. Then you're going to have the boss with Prideful. Come up this way, walk past these two. Pull these two over to here. Ignore this, let it smash. Once these two die, come back over here, ask a range interrupter to interrupt this. Then pull him out of his pool. Kill him. Come across this way. You're going to want to definitely use stealth pots or shroud here. You don't want to line of sight these around here because then there's going to be a whole bunch of blood everywhere to deal with. All right, then you're going to have the boss. These 3 are going to be a little tougher with Grievous. So be ready for that. You're going to need a healer cooldown twice. One for this and one for the Prideful. And then just Devos is as Devos is. Necrotic Wake, I'm doing the exact same pathing that I always do. Just I'm going to have to do some extra kiting for the Sanguine. Pull these guys together, pull them around. They do jump around. Just make sure they're out of the Sanguine. I'm going to pull these separately because of Sanguine. Then here, this is going to be a really tough pull, especially if Sanguine comes out. You're going to want to pull them back and just constantly kite. And then you're going to get a Prideful. With Prideful, pop a healer cooldown. Make sure you grab the hammer and spear. So for the boss, you'll have Bloodlust, hammer, spear, Prideful, and if you have a Kyrian, you'll have the Kyrian buff, so this boss should get deleted. Keep an eye out for these. If you kill the boss and these are over here, grab them while they're here, or while they're in the middle. Be careful of pulling this pack while you do that. Come around this way, grab these. If you did not get the pat while it was over here, get the pat while it's over here. Skip this guy. Come around this way, pull these guys. If you have a Kyrian, pop your Kyrian here. Grab these, grab the orb, hold the orb, grab these. Now, this is labeled as 2 different pulls, but it's really 1 pull. If you kill this guy first, Prideful's going to come out early. If you kill this guy last, Prideful's not going to come out early. Prideful, pop a healer cooldown. This is going to be a very difficult pack today. So if you want to grab the hammer and use the hammer on him, the named guy, Nars Dula, that's great. Do that. Definitely use the orb here on pull. Definitely pop cooldowns here. Ask somebody else to grab this spear and use it on the second boss. Come up this way, kill these 2, pop cooldowns for this, grab the Kyrian buff, come across this way with the Kyrian buff, get these 2 down. You're going to have the Kyrian buff while you fight Prideful, but still pop a healer cooldown. Grab these here, you pick up the hammer and the spear, and you hold it. Kill these guys here, come around this way. This is going to be a tough pack. You could either ask the other person to use the spear here, or you could hold the spear for the boss. That one's entirely up to you. I've had other tanks that I've talked to. Some like using the spear here, some like to hold it. So entirely your prerogative. But kill this, do the boss. If you did not use the spear here, ask the other person to use the spear here. Make sure you grab this orb here. Use Bloodlust here. Go up to Stitchworks, grab these 2. Grab this, and then the pat. The pat will spawn Prideful. Pop a healer cooldown for Prideful. Now, you have 2 choices. If you have a really good solid group, pull both of these together, pop the orb, and with the Prideful buff, you burn these down real quick. Just know with Sanguine, you are going to have to kite, and you have the whole room to kite. If not, don't pop the orb. Kill either side first. They're both incredibly difficult. Then go ahead and start the gauntlet. These start first. If you did not use the orb on these 2, I would use the orb here. And then this guy's going to come out. Hold lust. Do not lust for this boss. Hold your spear and hold your hammer. Then you will get Prideful for this boss. Make sure you pop a healer cooldown. Then come to this boss up here and go ahead and do this. This is where you use your spear and your hammer and your bloodlust, and this guy will get deleted. And then last but not least, Theater of Pain. Even though it's fortified, I still do this route. Go ahead and stealth past these guys. Get this guy down. He's going to drop blood. Some people like pulling it with the boss. I don't recommend that because of Sanguine and Grievous. After you do that, you're going to drop down. Come up this way. Pull 8 ghosts. Do not pull this one, and do not pull these. But pull all of these other ones. Pull them back into this room. Stand here, AoE them down. There is going to be Sanguine, so you're going to want to make sure you pull them out of that, so constantly kite backwards. Come across this way. Grab these packs here. They do drop Sanguine. Here's going to be tight, so you're going to want to actually pull these into this room here, and you're not going to want to have the Sanguine blood in this hallway. Prideful's going to come, pop a healer cooldown, come around this way. You are pulling this. You will have Prideful for it, so it's okay. Come down here. Pop your cooldowns here. It should be up for the boss. It should still have some remnants of Prideful left. Get these here. Once you kill these 2, you'll have Prideful. Pop a healer cooldown for the boss. Use Bloodlust here. Come back this way. Pass the ghosts. Do not pull any ghosts. Grab this guy here. Come across this way. Grab these here. Now, this pack is going to be very, very difficult today. I strongly recommend CCing this one, pulling these 2, and popping cooldowns. Healer cooldowns, damaging cooldowns, defensives, everything. Get these guys down as quickly as you can. You do not want this guy channeling in the blood. You want to pull this separately away. Kill this first, kill this second, kill this third. This should be CC. Then you're going to go to the left, this way. Kill these two. You keep them a little bit separate. You don't want the blood to come down because then you won't be able to move them. If you don't pull any ghosts, you're going to get Prideful after the last kill here. Now, because of channeling, you really don't want to kill these two before this because you don't want him channeling and casting in the blood. But honestly, it's better to get rid of the Bone Magus and have it stand in a little bit of blood for a little bit until you can interrupt it, then have a Bone Magus up. You're going to get Prideful, pop a healer cooldown. If it took you 10 minutes to get here, use Bloodlust. Don't panic. I have timed it multiple times before when it took me 10 minutes to clear to here. Get this boss down. You have your Bloodlust popped. Come back this way. Then just go straight forward. Here, you're going to get Prideful here. Pop a healer cooldown. Destroy this with Prideful. Kite backwards because of the blood. Kill this. Come across this way. You're going to have no Prideful and no Lust for this pack here. Come back up here, pull these, get Prideful, pop a healer cooldown, and you have your Theater of Pain timed. Be mindful of your surroundings. Don't stand in blood. You got this. I believe in you. You can do this. I do hope this video was a great help to you. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, complaints, go ahead and drop it in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will see you on the next one.